Okay, here's the short coming in on MLNM. As you can see, the tape here, a lot of red, 2200 at bid, 1000 at bid. So I put a short on. As you can see, 1000 shares. And we're short, I think, from 1641. This is kind of like the normal chop you see, when you go counter to a move. I mean, sometimes you get it instantly, but other times you don't. Um, I put this one on because it was like reaching up here, but it was like it couldn't get through. And there's this huge volume spike here. So it's kind of like the third time up. And as you can see, you can almost draw a line here. This one was tough because the sizes were all over the place. And I had my stop up here. I didn't show it, but I knew if it got above this high that I was in trouble. So it took some time to get going. And again, this recording was made after the trade. I'm trying to explain it a little better. But it kind of had this rising wedge pattern here. Alright, so later on in the trade you can see it, it kind of went up there, tested it, but really didn't get through it. So my next, or rather my first stop was the 10 period MA. EMA rather. As you can see, I just closed out half of it there, so now we're at 500 shares. So, a lot of times you're going to see support in or around the 10 period EMA or moving average as buyers come in just based solely on the technical level of the moving average being tested. There was a lot of red in the tape as it went through here, so my next logical target was the $16 level, which is kind of like the swing high from the morning. So I was waiting for it to come down there. Another thing you'll notice is that like on quarter increments, so 25-cent increments, you'll notice you'll get support or resistance on cheaper stocks. So as you can see, a good amount of buying came in here. And that's why you always want to take off at least half your position. That way you can give it a little breathing room. So since I was able to make this profit of, I don't know, 15 cents or so, I can add that on to where I opened the position. So you can see my stop is represented with this blue line. You can make the argument that you shouldn't, put your stop so far away if you're that far in the green, but I firmly believe the only way to really make some money is to allow the second half, or depending on how you split up your positions, either halves or thirds, to really run, because that's how you're really going to make the big bread. So again, still short 500 shares, profit of $83 so far. So again, you can see how it's just kind of hanging out at the 10 EMA, and this is where taking half off helps with the itch you may get to close a trade out, because you never really know which one's going to be your big winner. Again, you can see, it's kind of choppy on the tape. You really can't make much of it, so we just kind of let this one go. Now, see again, this is where is the benefit of taking half off, right? Because this bar, I didn't really get the itch to sell because my stop is far away. But now watch this. This happens in day trading. Other people may not want to show you this, but this happens. I mean, look how quickly this thing reversed. It shot up almost 1% in a matter of seconds, right? Blasted up there, hit 1650. We had our stop at 1651, as you can see, represented by the blue line, but it wasn't hit. All right. Now look at how this thing just tanked. So, you got a 15-cent move from the 1650 swing high on this, back down to 1635 where it was a second ago. And as you can see, it went from a decent gain on 500 shares down to basically flat on the trade. These traders came in and bought it out here at the 10 EMA. As you can see, it didn't convincingly break it, so they tried to bust it up to the upside. And like I said earlier, you move in 25-cent increments, right? So it stopped at 16.25, immediately shot back up to 16.50, but it failed. As you can see, the tape shot up pretty fast when it ran at 16.50, but now it's kind of slowing up. You're starting to see a little more red in the tape. You're seeing the ask price, kind of larger than the bids. Okay, you got 1/4 in this, so it's showing that indecision. At this point in the trade, to be honest with you, when it shot to 16.50, I was a little worried, but when I looked at the tape, I saw quickly it reversed. I said, this thing, if they can't bust it up, right, they're going to bust it back down again. So in this trade, I was speculating that since the longs couldn't hold it above the level, and it looked like a squeeze, right, a short squeeze, that it was going to come back down, and if it would break this low, it would come down, to my $16 target. As you can see, you get some decent red in the tape, which again gives you a little more reassurance that you're not going to get wiped out of the trade again. And unfortunately, as you'll see in a second, when I made this video, I was watching another stock, and because I really focus in on the time and sells, I just closed this MLNM trade out without going back to the screen to actually show the exit on the chart, and you'll see that in a second. But again, my goal here is to make these videos to help out traders, and also as like a documentary for myself, to be able to document my growth as a trader. But whenever I try to put the videos before my trading, I tend to get in trouble. I lose my focus. So I'm no Steven Spielberg, but I think you'll get the gist of it. So I started to watch this stock AKNS, but as you can see, this MLNM ended up getting out at 16.10. So not only did it go through the previous swing low, it busted down through it, right? So up to a profit of 164 on this. And this is when I was kind of looking at this, saying, all right, I need to do something because I was in this AKNS short. And that's why, managing two trades can be a little challenging at times because you're trying to look at both. So when this came back down again, shortly here I'm going to close it out. For a decent gain, for only having 500 shares, it's a decent gain. So that's pretty much the trade. And I just close it out. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys found this useful, and I'll be sure to put these out daily. All right, take care.